At 10, we're going down the orange route with Arancia di Capri by Acqua di Parma. So with this one, think a nice fresh blast of orange juice. It really is that nice realistic orange juice type of an opening. So if you're a fan of juicy orange, you'll probably really like this. So in the top you have orange, mandarin, bergamot and lemon. In the mid you get petitgrain and cardamom. And in the base you have caramel as well as musk. I must say that caramel is not something I detect here. So if you're expecting like a tasty gourmand, this isn't that. It's more just a fresh blast of those fruits in the top, primarily orange, with a nice musky dry down. Performance is okay, it's nothing outstanding, so if you're expecting like a beast mode performer, you won't really get that here. But on the other hand, if you like a juicy orange juice like scent, then this one may well be for you. At 9, we're going down the apple route with apple brandy on the rocks. So in the top you have cardamom and bergamot. In the mid you get that apple as well as rum, brandy, pineapple, vanilla and moss. And in the base you have cedar and ambroxan. A nice sparkly hit of apple with interesting boozy notes of rum and brandy in here, giving it some character and some edge. So I like it a lot. It's very versatile. It's a fresh fragrance really. It's a nice all year round apple. So if you want apple done in a nice fresh way, and maybe you're a fan of like the YSL Y range, but you want it with kind of an interesting uniqueness with the rum and the brandy added on, and like a nice fizzy sparkle about it, check out apple brandy on the rocks. At 8 we have the Forever Wanted Elixir by Azzaro. So it's been a long time since a fragrance surprised me as much as this. And by that I mean the heavy raspberry blast you get in this one. So I thought raspberry would be a supporting note. I've known raspberry to be in Tuscan Leather by Tom Ford, which is like more of a leather sofa type of a scent. And the raspberry is very much in the background. Same with Mont Blanc Individuel, the raspberry is a supporting note. Here the raspberry is very, very strong and is the main player in my experience of this fragrance. So I hadn't expected that at all. If you like the Wanted line, and you're wondering if this is a safe blind buy, I would say it's not, unless you absolutely love raspberry. But otherwise I'd say certainly try before you buy. Performance very good on this one, the scent sticks around a long time. So on the top you have raspberry, mandarin and bergamot. In the mid you get cardamom, lavender and clary sage. And in the base you have leather, wolfwood, as well as vetiver. So yeah, really if you like raspberry is the big thing with this one. I'd say the raspberry is more heavy than the leather. It's not what I expected. I like its uniqueness though, and yeah, if you're a fan of raspberry, then check this one out. At 7 we're going down the mango route with Polo Black EDT by Ralph Lauren. So this is a nice kind of damp, woody mango scent. If you think of like a mango resting on a plank of wood, you get this fragrance basically. The dry down is the best part of this, but I think it's outstanding, and for me, possibly the best Ralph Lauren fragrance. So I think this is excellent. So the notes here are mango, sandalwood, tangerine, patchouli, tonka bean, sage, wormwood. I once said woodworm. I don't know if that got detected, but I won't make that mistake this time. Wormwood and also lemon. So it's a nice woody mango scent, a nice tropical edge to your typical woody scent. It's unique. I can't think of anything really that much like that. Certainly nothing I own. If you want mango in a fresher fragrance, you could check Polo Deep Blue. Unfortunately that gets me for headaches every time, so I don't own it and therefore don't feature it in the lists, but Polo Deep Blue is a heavy hit of ambroxan mixed with the mango. But yeah, I really like this. If you want a kind of nice woody tropical scent, definitely check out Polo Black EDT. At 6 we're talking peach. Of course this is Bitter Peach by Tom Ford. So if you like the idea of a peach and vanilla combination, check this one out. And if you like the smell of apricot yogurts, you will really like this, as I compare it to that quite often. So in the top you have peach, blood orange, cardamom and heliotrope. In the mid you have rum and cognac, as well as davana and jasmine. And in the base you have that vanilla, as well as Indonesian patchouli leaf, tonka bean, sandalwood, benzoin, cashmeran, styrax, labdanum and vetiver. But the two main players here are undoubtedly the peach and the vanilla. So you get that kind of nice creamy dry down of a peach vanilla blend after the initial peach blast. Goes without saying, you have to like peach to enjoy this fragrance. I can't believe I'm even saying that, as obviously that's extremely clear, but I do really like it. I'm not like crazy about peach, but I enjoy this fragrance a lot for its uniqueness and the blend with the vanilla. The only other fragrance I can think of with peach in, off the top of my head, men's fragrance, is the Allure, the original Allure by Chanel. That's a bit different to this. This is that's more airy. This is more sweet with that vanilla. Having said that, it's versatile. I've worn this in the summer and it's fine because it's got a kind of a lightness to it, like the peach. It's bright. It's got a nice brightness to it. So it does work in the summer as well, if you don't mind like summer vanilla. But yeah, I do enjoy this. I think it's one of the better Tom Fords for sure. At 5 we have Lemon. This is Versace Eros Energy. So a nice blast of lemon in here in what is otherwise a kind of Creed Aventus smell alike. If you like Armaf Club de Nuit Intense but want it done in a smoother, high quality smelling way that's less chemical and less jarring, then check this one out. Doesn't perform quite as heavily as Club de Nuit Intense, but in my opinion that's not necessarily a bad thing, as sometimes being that bit more subtle is a good thing really. So in the top there you have lemon, lime, grapefruit, blood orange, Sicilian bergamot and mandarin orange. So a lot of fresh fruity notes there in the opening as well as the lemon, although the lemon is what you detect the most. In the mid you have black pepper, white amber and a refreshing blackcurrant note. In the base you have musk, oak moss and patchouli. One of the better designer fragrances around, I think. Very versatile, nice and mass appealing. Of course you have to be a fan of lemon to enjoy this one. But yeah, if you're a fan of lemon and you like the kind of Creed Aventus type of a smell, then check out Versace Eros Energy. In 4th spot we have Absolu Aventus by Creed. So you keep that fresh, fruity blast that you get in the other Aventuses, but you have some depth here with some spicier winter notes such as ginger, cinnamon, nutmeg and cloves, as well as cardamom. So you do get that fresh pineapple blast, and it's a nice fruity opening for sure. So in the top you have grapefruit, bergamot, pink pepper, blackcurrant, pineapple, nutmeg and cloves. In the mid you have ginger, citron, cinnamon, cardamom and rose. And in the base you get patchouli, vetiver, oak moss, ambroxan, musk, sandalwood, tonka and evernool. It's a spicy, heavier, more cold weather leaning Aventus. You can still wear this in the summer of course, but it has more depth and for me is a lot longer lasting also than the original Aventus. So for its fruity nature, for me it deserved its place on this list. At 3 we're discussing the masterpiece that is Virgin Island Water by Creed. So coconut is one of the main notes here, as well as lime. So it's a nice kind of fruity punch. Smells like a pina colada. You get a real kind of beach bar, day at the beach, Caribbean holiday type of a vibe from this one. So I love its uniqueness. I find performance okay. I hear people complain about the performance. I actually find on skin it's not too bad. Like sometimes I'll say some of these weaker ones perform better on clothes, but I actually get quite a good tune out of Virgin Island Water all round, which seems to be at odds with what a lot of the community say. I'm critical of some of the performance of Creeds, like Viking Cologne, Aventus Cologne, Arofa. So I'm not afraid to like criticize when I find a performance is disappointing, but for me Virgin Island Water is quite good. I don't have problems with the performance here. So in the top you have coconut, lime, white bergamot and Sicilian mandarin. In the mid you get ginger, ylang ylang, Indian jasmine and hibiscus. In the base you get white rum, sugarcane and musk. So a nice musky dry down, but in general it's that kind of, you do get the florals as well in the mid. I know this has actually been labelled as unisex, but I would say it's more male leaning personally. And yeah, it's mostly like a tropical coconut lime type of a vibe. So if you want something out and out tropical, like a beach bar pina colada type of a feel that you want to wear, check out Virgin Island Water. For me, definitely one of the best Creeds. At 2 we're going with Nishane's Hacivat. So with this one you get a big blast of pineapple in the opening. For me it's an out and out fruity fragrance, so it absolutely deserves to be high up in this list. It's an extrait de parfum, just like the original Hacivat, so it lasts a long time. It smells very natural and high quality. So it removes the oak moss from the original Hacivat, so it's up to you whether you feel that's a good thing or a bad thing. To me it's a good thing, hence why I have Hacivat X here in front of me. So in the top you get pineapple, bergamot and pink pepper. In the mid you get lime, Tunisian orange blossom and jasmine. In the base you have vetiver, patchouli and cedar. Very long lasting, very strong fruity punch on this one. If you're a fan of Aventus and want something a bit stronger, and maybe Absolu Aventus doesn't quite do it for you, check out Hacivat. And at number 1 we have one of my personal all-time favourites. This is Perseus by Parfums. So this is very much ticks the box of a fruity fragrance. You do get heavy grapefruit, but it's mixed in nicely with blackcurrant and bergamot. In the mid you get vetiver, green mandarin and geranium, and in the base you have dry wood, cashmere wood, ambergris, balsam fir, cedar, and a nice smooth tonka bean, giving it a nice creaminess in the dry down. I find performance pretty good on this one. For a fresh scent, this lasts a long time. I prefer it to the other fresh offerings from Parfums. I'd say maybe Percival is about level, but I would take this over Sedley, Greenlee, Castley, Galloway, Darley, all of those ones. So for me, it's excellent. It's more than just grapefruit, but it does help if you like the note of grapefruit. But it's a nice kind of fruity combination with a nice smooth tonka bean dry down. So I think this is excellent, one of my favourite all-time scents. And I try not to include that personal bias, because just looking at the notes and how fruity this is, how much of a punch it packs, and just the pleasantness of it, I think it deserves to top this list. Any of the top 4 or 5 were quite worthy to be right up there. So if you have another favourite that's not this, then they're all worthy winners too. So some great fruit fragrances featured in this list. I think it was a very strong list, where every single one of them was here on merit, that's for sure. What do you think, guys? Thank you for watching. Catch you next time.